Stacey Abrams isn't just a big spending, tax-raising liberal.
Kemp's actions, the AJC reports, a possible felony.
Fresh out of a contentious election year and another ahead of us, Georgians are all too familiar with political opponents blasting each other with mudslinging ads. It's become what many in politics call a necessary evil.
Yeah, but tonight we have the story of one local politician who has been able to mostly avoid all of the mud. And last fall, it almost cost him his seat in Congress. 11 Alive's Doug Richards joins us with more. Doug?
Well, Jeff, Rob Woodall will retire after this term in Congress after nearly losing his seat last fall. In a business that demands lots of fundraising and a willingness to cheerfully say terrible things about the political opposition, Rob Woodall would not. It nearly cost him his seat in Congress last fall, and he seems okay with that.
Absent, unaccountable, and bankrolled by special interests.
Ugliness sells.
So much scandal and corruption.
That is certainly what the literature says. If you go to any campaign school.
A lot of that ugliness was noticeably lacking last fall when Republican Rob Woodall faced Democrat Carolyn Bourdeaux in the toughest race of Woodall's political career.
I don't have to beat down the other guy. I want it to be true that my opponent is always a very good man or woman with very bad ideas. And let's have that conversation and see where the election falls.
Woodall had grown accustomed to coasting to re-election without big fundraising and big TV campaigns. As an incumbent, Woodall could have raised much more money.
Hi, Georgia. San Francisco just wanted to say thank you.
And he could have clobbered the Democrat in TV ads as a tool of Nancy Pelosi. Woodall didn't. Woodall says 27% of his 7th congressional district constituents are first-generation Americans. That made it ripe for the Democrat. But Woodall saw it differently.
There's nothing I can do that I think would betray the trust of those new Americans more than deciding that the only way to grow America is to take out my blunt instrument and begin to beat my opponents over the head with it.
I like Rob. He's a good guy.
Bourdeaux says when Woodall finally faced a strong challenge, he lacked competitive fire.
And if you don't have that fire in the belly, right, it is very hard to run these kinds of races.
He ran the kind of race that he wanted to run.
But supporter Buzz Brockway thinks Woodall's constituents have little stomach for the attack-driven campaigning that Woodall managed to avoid.
If so many people are sick and tired of it, then people are going to start to demand change. And I think people are going to start to realize that one side annihilating the other isn't the answer.
I don't worry about our future in politics, except when I see good men and women who say, I'd like to serve, but it's just gotten too tough and too ugly.
Republican Woodall also had surprising praise for Democrat Stacey Abrams during our interview. You can find that on 11alive.com. Next year's election in the 7th Congressional District will be much, much rougher with Woodall gone, Jeff.
All right, Doug, thanks.